So this is an inbox review of the AVI Models Fox Moth in foreign service, which is the DH83, de Havilland 83. Very much like a Tiger Moth, uses the Tiger Moth lower wing, upper wing, tail plane, and quite a lot of the fuselage and engine. And but it's got a cabin in the fuselage here as well. So the pilot sits behind, and you've got a 4-seat cabin there in front. So on the back of the side opening box, we've got the marking options for the kit, which is 4 marking options. We've got this one in silver, which is a Fox Moth JAPBE, which is named Shirataki, or White Hawk, at the Nortung Provincial Police, Manchuria, about mid-1930s, as it says there. I'm obviously reading it. Then we've got probably the pick of the marking options here, which is this Japanese Medivac, which is a Fox Moth with with Ikoku 106 inscription, operated by the Japanese Army about, again, the mid-1930s. Then we've got the one which I'll be doing here, which is the Fox Moth used by the Spanish Nationalist Air Force during the Spanish Civil War, and this is 3143. It also used a few other private registrations as well. And then we've got a Fox Moth here serving with the SEAC Roundels, operating in the air ambulance role by the 3rd TAF Communication Squadron, Camilla, Burma, 1944. And that's obviously the markings out for that way as well. I think that's the Aussie Air Force, I believe, but I may be wrong there. So the kit comes in a single poly bag. It is a short run kit. It was reasonably expensive for what it is. It was about $18.99 on Hannants in the UK. There's no resin or photo etch, and it is a little bit basic, I suppose, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. So you've got the simple set of instructions, which is just exploded diagrams there on one piece of paper, running through quite a simple construction, and then at the rear we're talking about which version you're going to have, because some has an enclosed canopy like this one up here, and then the rest have a windscreen. So it's just making the point of that. The decals are very nice. They look really good, very much in register, and they look problem free to me. I have had a problem with the Japanese marking here has actually been dented and scratched, and it's also had a little nick taken out of it where it's been rubbing against the plastic in the box, but apart from that, the rest of the sheet is very good. Quite a large carrier film around the actual marking, but that can be sorted by cutting closely to the actual shape. And then we've got a clear sprue here, which caters for the doors, which have windows in it, hence why they're clear. A couple of sort of raised windows here that go in the side of the fuselage, and then we've got the windscreen and the closed canopy there. All is pretty good. The windscreen and the canopy is clearer than the doors here, which do have a bit of a lensing effect because they've taken the shape of the fuselage in there as well. So something just to bear in mind. And then we have one sprue of plastic which caters for the entire model, and it is fair to say that it is a little bit basic in the detail side of things. Everything's there, and it does provide a base to detail further, but there isn't much sort of detail on the wings, and the ribbing is a little bit coarse. And a little bit sort of blurry, if that makes sense. It's all there, but it's not very well refined. I've seen better in Azure kits, for instance, and such like with short-run kits. Very basic internal detail here on the cockpit sidewall. I mean, if we were comparing this to the Airfix Tiger Moth, for instance, there's a lot more detail in that one. I did look at the tail here. To me, that just the fin, and rudder. To me, that just looks slightly off. But I can't, I'm not sure, I'm not a de Havilland expert, but I don't know, it just instantly looked a bit off to me, but I may be wrong. It is a very iconic part of these aircraft, this tailplane section, so do let me know in the comments if you think otherwise or agree. But overall, well, I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward build. A lot of the struts look they're chunky, but I don't think that's too much of a problem because you're going to get very good definite sort of fixing points there. The undercarriage is extremely good as well. That makes up from a few small parts here. And overall, I think it's very good. I think if you were to sort of kit bash this with one of the Airfix Tiger Moths as well, which run around, you know, roughly around sort of the £5 mark, you'd probably get that. That might be a good way of improving it as well. You have to make your mind up on that yourself. Personally, I'm just going to build this one straight out of the box, and I think it will make for a very nice model. So that is a quick run round the new AVI Models Fox Moth in foreign service. There are a couple other versions of this due. Certainly we've got this one and one in Kiwi service as well, and I think there's another one that they're talking about releasing as well. This just came up on Hannon's a week ago, so this is 2019, this is June, and there is talk of maybe a few other of the Moth series coming out, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. So yes, something a bit different, a little bit pricey. If you want the kit, I don't think there's any problem, but if you're just sort of on the fringe of it, then you may want to sort of, you know, have a think about it, look a bit closely at some of the pictures online about this kit, and make a better decision once you've viewed that. So hopefully that's of interest, and thanks for watching the video. Let me know any of your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.